All right, today we're going to perform what I like to call a body audit because let's face it, we all have those frustrating physical hiccups, a lingering cough, that massive midday slump of fatigue, or maybe just a randomly upset stomach. In our relentlessly fast-paced world, it's incredibly easy to just normalize feeling terrible, isn't it? We write these things off as normal wear and tear from a busy week. But what if your body is trying to tell you something highly specific? Today, in this explainer, we're going to decode exactly what those daily frustrations might be telling us about our internal health, and why ignoring them is a mistake we literally can't afford to make. So let me ask you straight up. Do you often feel run down and exhausted? I'm asking directly because it's incredibly relatable. Feeling suboptimal has basically become the default state for so many of us. We wake up tired, we push through the afternoon with massive amounts of caffeine, and we just accept it as the cost of doing business. But while this baseline exhaustion is super common, the medical data tells us we absolutely shouldn't ignore it. It isn't just a sign that you need a vacation, it could be a glaring physiological signal that your internal shield is wearing dangerously thin. Okay, let's dive into this. Phase 1 of our audit, your body's first defense.
To really get this audit going, we need to lay out the foundational science. The immune system is our first line of defense when it comes to fighting infection and disease. Now, we hear this term tossed around constantly, especially during flu season, but it's vital to step back and recognize what it actually is. It's not just some invisible magic force field. It's a highly coordinated, sophisticated network of cells, tissues, and organs, like your white blood cells, lymph nodes, and your spleen. They are working around the clock, actively patrolling your bloodstream, neutralizing invaders before they can do long-term damage. Proper immune health is the absolute baseline requirement for your overall well-being.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that the warning signs of a failing system go way beyond just getting a simple sniffle. The major red flags actually include things like the development of autoimmune diseases, heightened allergies, recurrent viral outbreaks, and persistent fatigue. Think about why this happens. When your immune system is depleted, it loses its precision. It might overreact to harmless things like pollen, giving you crazy allergies. Or it might lack the strength to keep dormant viruses in check. Like the virus that causes cold sores actually lives dormant in your nerve cells. When your defenses drop, bam, that virus flares up. These aren't random annoyances. It's your body waving a white flag, asking for immediate reinforcements. Moving right along to phase 2, the constant sickness cycle. Be honest, are you that person who always seems to catch the office cold? You know, the one that makes the rounds and somehow always finds its way to your desk. Struggling to fight off harmful bacteria and viruses leads to persistent colds. Listen, getting sick occasionally is a completely normal part of life. Our bodies are designed to encounter bugs. It's how we build immunity in the first place. But when those colds seem to linger on and on, it's a matter of cellular power. Without a robust army of white blood cells ready to deploy, viruses essentially set up camp in your respiratory tract. So what should have been a standard 3-day cold gets extended into a 3-week exhausting ordeal. Think of it this way. With normal immunity, your body fights off bugs quickly and effectively. You get a little down, maybe rest for a day, but your system mounts a swift counterattack, and you bounce back. But with compromised immunity, colds linger on, and frequent infections actively disrupt your daily life. You're catching literally every single bug your kids bring home from school. So the crucial point is that a weak system turns minor environmental nuisances into constant, totally exhausting biological battles. That brings us to phase 3 of our audit, hidden signs in your gut and skin. Here's the thing. Immune issues don't always look like a typical respiratory cold or a fever. Sometimes the signs are hidden in plain sight. Take tummy troubles, for example. Things like bloating, cramping, and diarrhea can actually stem directly from impaired immunity. This is where the biology gets absolutely fascinating. You might think your stomachache is just something you ate, but did you know roughly 70% of your entire immune system is housed right there in your gut? Your gut microbiome is deeply intertwined with your immune cells. When your immune health dips, your gut flora gets completely thrown out of balance. And this brilliantly illustrates another hidden sign that shows up right on your skin. Normal healing means efficient recovery from minor cuts and scrapes. You get a paper cut, it scabs over, and a few days later, it's gone. But slow healing means your body is actively struggling to fight off localized infection, which significantly increases the risk of scarring. A slow healing wound isn't just an annoyance. It is a highly visual, physical indicator that your body's internal resources are depleted. Your system simply doesn't have the cellular bandwidth to do that repair work efficiently. All right, phase 4, the stress and fatigue factor. Now we are tackling the absolute most common complaints in our modern daily lives, stress and exhaustion. Sky-high stress causes inflammation and seriously reduces your defense mechanisms. We constantly make the mistake of thinking of stress as just an emotional or mental burden, but it has very real, measurable physical impacts. When you're chronically stressed, your body pumps out high levels of cortisol. And while cortisol is helpful in short fight-or-flight bursts, chronic exposure to it actively suppresses your immune cells and creates widespread inflammation. You are literally chemically dismantling your own defenses. And what about feeling tired all the time? Well, your energy levels take a massive hit when immunity is low. I want to reassure you right now, wanting to crawl back into bed at noon isn't a character flaw, and it definitely isn't laziness. If you feel constantly drained, it's because the immune system demands massive amounts of metabolic energy to function. When it's constantly fighting off low-grade threats or dealing with inflammation, it forcefully redirects your body's energy reserves away from your muscles and brain. Fatigue is a core physiological symptom of a compromised internal shield.
Let's move to and see how this builds into Phase 5, taking charge of your health. Recognizing these signs is step 1, but fixing them is the ultimate goal. Rebuilding that shield comes down to 4 basic steps. Step 1, a balanced diet full of fruits and veggies. Step 2, adequate sleep. Step 3, regular exercise. And step 4, stress management. Now, don't look at these like a rigid list of chores. It's a holistic ecosystem. Your immune cells need the vitamins from your diet to function, they need deep sleep to multiply, they need exercise for circulation, and they need stress management to keep cortisol down. Boosting immunity isn't magic. It all comes down to these manageable daily choices.
But introducing healthy habits is only half the battle. We also have to play defense against the saboteurs. It is absolutely crucial to limit unhealthy habits, high stress levels, and excessive alcohol consumption. You can't out-supplement a bad lifestyle, right? Removing negative inputs is honestly just as critical as adding positive ones. You can't just eat a spinach salad and expect it to offset chronic sleep deprivation and heavy alcohol use, which actively destroy your gut bacteria. We have to limit the saboteurs. And, of course, if your symptoms persist, consulting a medical professional is always the smartest move.
I love how the source material leaves us with this reminder. We all deserve to experience vibrant health. It's such a beautiful, powerful sentiment. Taking charge of your own health never has to be daunting. In fact, understanding your biology and learning to read your body's signals is honestly one of the most empowering things you can do for yourself. Vibrant, energetic health isn't some luxury reserved for the lucky few. It is a state that's entirely within your reach once you start listening to your body.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this one question. Will you take time for self-care today? Because you matter. Don't let a weakened system dictate the quality of your life or steal your energy. Start making those small, deliberate choices and begin rebuilding your body's defenses right now.